Hello and welcome to another D&D horror story video. I want to thank you very much for clicking on the video as you make that little DM just a little bit bigger. With that being said, let's get right into the stories. This one comes from Doe JPEG. DM thought charm person meant sexual harassment. Details are foggy because this was years ago. This also isn't nearly as bad as a bunch of other posts here, haha. I'm no longer friends with this person for various other reasons. This was my first time playing D&D. I was having fun with the roleplay and character building. I played as a half-elf rogue, but it's not really important to the story. The DM had our party encounter a group of cultists, and I decided to whip out a charmed person to get one on our side for information reasons. It succeeded. The cultists was my friend. I think I had to avoid directly causing damage to the rest of them to avoid breaking the charm. But the DM starts to get weird about it. Again, details are foggy, but basically the cultist starts hardcore flirting with my rogue lady, and not in a flattering way. The DM was very specifically talking about how the cultist is eyeing her whole body and is making comments about certain areas and what they can do together. Ugh. Just overall being incredibly creepy. I didn't know how to react except to awkwardly laugh and keep playing. This continued for the whole encounter, the DM having the cultist make innuendos at her until the fight was over, and I think we eventually killed him too, which no doubt I was happy about. Later, one of the other players messaged me and was like, yeah, that was really weird. I don't know why DM was saying all that, which made me feel better and less crazy for being upset about it. I never brought it up and no one else said anything, but yeah, it felt really gross. Yeah, if you're still playing with this DM, it doesn't say, I am no longer friends for okay. Sorry, I forgot that detail at the beginning. Yeah, I'm glad he's not in your life at all. Like, that's a good thing. People that can't read a room or can't take the hint that something's not landing, especially in D&D, can cause this awkward tension between DM and player. And I've had that happen, and the best thing is to talk to your players, but I don't think he did. I don't think he saw anything happen, so he couldn't react to it. But my guess is you said explicitly that it was making you uncomfortable, and nobody did anything about it. Like, just because it's a roleplay game doesn't mean you could just say or do whatever you want. There has to be boundaries. This one is coming from Emo Woman 420. My first time playing D&D went awful. 18 plus warning. I'm a 21-year-old Russian woman, so if my English isn't great, that's why. This happened about a month ago. It was my first time playing D&D. I was playing with 2 friends and 2 others that I didn't know. The DM was a semi-close friend. Due to it being my first time playing, I just made my character based on my sister. Same name and appearance. Horrible idea, I know. She was a Beastmaster Ranger. I thought it was cool. The DM is very aware of my sister and even called it cute. Everything is going normal for the first couple of hours. We got into a fight in the bar with a bunch of drunk guards. We win, of course, but warning of sexual assault and the R word. Later that night, they break into my room and in the inn and have their way with my character. He proceeded to describe in detail the horrible things they did to my character, which is based on my sister. No roles, no warnings that this could happen, just completely out of nowhere. As you can imagine, I was completely astounded, as were the other 3 people playing with me. The paladin, my friend, slapped the life out of the DM, and we quickly left the building. I have completely cut contact with the guy. He never apologized and called me a sensitive B-word for leaving over something so minor. So, that was my first D&D experience. Thought it fit perfectly on here. I'm curious to see if anyone else has a similar experience. Thanks for reading. Had to share it with someone. Well, I'm glad your friend took the initiative and gave this DM a taste of his own medicine. And by that I mean disrespect. This DM does not need to DM. This person clearly does not value people's space, their boundaries. This is another boundary one, just like the last one before. This one crossed so many boundaries with that, because the DM knew that the character was based off your sister, and I do agree it was kind of a dumb idea to do that, because then if something bad happens to your sister or your sister dies in the game, of course it hurts you or gets you emotionally, so you probably don't want to do that. But he agreed, and the fact that he agreed to it means he knows the implications if he did something to that character, and he did, and that's insane that he did that to a character based off your sister. This one is from Maintenance Bright 150. The campaign consists of the characters harming each other. I'm using the translator. I apologize if there are errors. I as well. And of course, warning for self-harm references. A DM friend I hadn't seen in a while invited me to his D&D campaign. 2 former high school classmates were also playing in that campaign, with whom I had a good relationship. So I joined the campaign thinking he would be a fairly friendly player. Already in the first session, some alarms were activated for me. There were 4 other players I didn't know. All of them were at least 8 years older than us. At the time, my former classmates and I were minors. They also had a lot more experience playing D&D. Additionally, all player characters had chaotic evil alignment. I asked the DM if it was mandatory to become an evil character, but he said no. That made the whole thing seem even more strange to me, but all the players insisted that they just felt like playing characters with that alignment. The first session consisted largely of how my character joined the group, so I didn't realize the problem yet. The next sessions were horrible. Adult players had convinced my former classmates that they would teach me the proper way to play D&D. Their correct way was in essence to behave like traitors towards their companions. I suppose the young people were impressed by his age and experience as they imitated his behavior. Players spent around 80% of each session harming each other in different ways: poisoning food, stealing weapons, killing mounts, escaping from combat on the first turn and closing the door so the rest of the players couldn't escape, refusing to heal other players, the cleric, attacking NPCs that another player was talking to. And that's what they did to the players. I can't write the things they did to the NPCs here. It was like watching psychopaths using the game to fulfill their fantasies. After the third session, I spoke to the DM and politely explained that I played D&D to have a good time, and that this was the complete opposite. At least it was for me. So I wouldn't go back again. I apologized to him, but he understood perfectly. I was stuck on one of those situations where the players causing problems are longtime friends, and it's difficult because I've asked them several times not to behave like that, but they don't listen. To this day, I still have a good relationship with this DM, and I know that after a while, the young players got bored and left the campaign too. And several sessions later, the adults ended up causing their own death. And after that, the DM never played with them again. There were times when I not only felt uncomfortable, I was also afraid. The joy of those players, much older than me, while they explained in detail the horrors that their characters did, activated my danger instincts. I would have refused to be alone with any of them. Damn, this DM's a freaking pushover. This DM, oh my gosh, this DM just allowed all that stuff to happen. Oh, and I can only assume it's because all of these older people told him how to play, told him, hey, you're doing a great job as a DM. Just let us do our thing. Like, it's my character. I can do what I want with my character. Like, holy crap. It would have been the first session for me. Hell, it would have been the first hour of playing this game. Holy crap. I'm glad that the game just slowly faded, but it doesn't wipe away that, like, I do believe that these players were enacting some sort of fantasy that they wanted in their mind, or they had built up tension about someone and they just got it out at D&D on the weekend or something. But that is not healthy. I'm glad you got out of there though. Alright, that was 3 horror stories, 2 of which were kind of short, but that's perfectly fine. I want to thank you all for clicking on this video out of all the other videos. I appreciate it. And please like, subscribe, comment, do all the things that make the little DM that much bigger. Thank you again, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.